What's up everybody, this is Keiho and welcome to Salty Island RPG and welcome to another video in my 1-year journey leading up to Hynafol Grand Gathering 2025. To learn more about Hynafol, check out the previous video in this series, but a brief summary: in November, a LARP event's going to happen down in Texas. For 2025, it's going to be a 6-day event full of camping and adventure and all brand new things for me. One of the really cool things about this event is that they do a lot of smaller events leading up to the Grand Gathering, so people can get together, get to know each other, learn about each other's characters, and kind of build up the story a little bit more. However, sadly, all of these events take place in Texas, and I do not live in Texas. However, I've got a plan, and thanks to the power of the internet and role-playing games, I'm going to do a series of RPGs with various community members who attend Hynafol, and in particular, I've decided that I would like to join up with the guild Noctum Caligo. This is a guild particularly made up of Fae belonging to the courts of Night, Winter, and Autumn, and this way I get to interact with them and they can get a chance to meet my character and I can meet their characters and kind of get to know them before I even attend the event. And as a bonus, you all get to see some RPG content here on this channel. And if you think that's a good idea, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. So there you go, I remembered to sneak that into the video this time. Now, as a disclaimer, I am brand new to the world of Hynafol, so lore-wise I'm still learning, and there's going to be some discrepancies for people who may have attended previous events. But for the rest of you, Hynafol is basically a medieval fantasy low magic setting. The world has previously had magic, however, part of the lore is that the vast majority of it seems to have drained from the world, and that in itself is part of the mystery of the story. This game will be the introduction of sorts for my character into the world of Hynafol, so I don't want to give out any spoilers yet. But participating in today's games, I've got Rhog, aka Rhogfather, a Winter Court Fae who is one of the individuals who helps to lead the guild, and I've got Soro, a Night Fae with some interesting wolf-like traits that will come into play during the game. Now for the mechanics, we're going to be using the RPG Fabula Ultima, and I do want to give a shout out to the game creator, Emmanuel Galero, who I got to meet at Gen Con 2024. He's an amazing guy. This is a wonderful RPG that's very cinematic, very easy to pick up. So if you're looking for a game that lets you create your own setting and narrative, I highly recommend checking this one out. Alright, enough with this, no more rambling. Thank you for watching, and let's go ahead and get on with the game. Alright, so we are playing Hynafol using the Fabula Ultima system. I got Rhog and I got Soro, both of which have attended Hynafol in the past, and we've got a fantastic story for you guys to participate in today. So we're going to open up our story at camp. You guys are currently in the camp, just hanging out. Rhog, you've set up a camp recently because over the past month or so, the mists have been acting really strangely. It's been ebbing and flowing. Things that you've never seen before have been coming through the mists. A lot of new people. There's also been creatures of various sorts that have come and gone from the mists. And a lot of this has given you concern. Obviously, you have a lot of people that you take care of. And as a result of that, you've wanted to try and get this under control, as it were. Rhog, if you want to kind of hit us with a bit of a description, what sort of a camp does your guild sort of set up and look like?
Camp is pretty much kind of makeshift. We do try to keep it in a round area so we can kind of keep the doors all facing in one direction, and everybody can exit out to the middle section, kind of what you're showing here. Fire to the middle is really good. We do tend to put ourselves in the woods. We feel the Dark Fae do feel a lot more comfortable in the woods. So yeah, we would actually have that all set up kind of as this picture portrays. So it's actually a pretty good portrayal of what we would actually do.
Nice, very nice, very nice. So Rhog, one thing that you've gotten as leader of the guild, you've gotten a lot of reports lately. A lot of the different people under you have given you stories that some weird things have been happening. And so part of it, you're trying to get them organized, and you're trying to be able to address these things as they've been happening more frequently. Now, Soro, you're actually going to go ahead and be also in the camp as well. A kind of a generic open call went out to the various members, and as you're available, various people have been coming and going from the camp. Go ahead, Soro, and give us a quick description of what you're doing in the camp.
So right now I am around in between the trees, kind of on the edge of where the camp is, and I'm just picking up sticks and trying to find the perfect thing to just toss in the campfire. Also kind of keeping my eye on what's going on around the outskirts of the camp, but also watching from a distance people moving inside the camp.
Very nice. Good call. Good call. Actually, let's go ahead and get the good fun part started here. So since you're on the outskirts of the camp, go ahead and let's go ahead and have you throw one wisdom, one insight dice, and let's see what it is you see. Oh, sorry, willpower. Insight and willpower. Not wisdom, it's willpower. Very nice, very nice. So this is a perfect chance here. I'm going to explain another mechanic of the game. So anytime that you throw 2 dice for a check, if the number is the same and the number is 6 or higher, that's a critical effect. You get additional bonuses, and you'll get additional things that will happen throughout the game. So awesome way to start the game here. So you are looking around, and actually you see a thing. Up at the night sky, as you're looking around, you see a flicker of light up overhead. And as you watch this up in the sky, you see what appears to be a falling star. And at first it doesn't seem like much, it's just a star streaking across the sky. But out of the corner of your eye, you catch the falling star kind of arc. In a very unnatural arc, and it seems to arc down straight down, and it seems to fade into the mist, which is actually very unusual. It had a weird movement to it. It's something not normal. So you kind of catch that. So to go back to a little. Oh, go ahead. You do something about that?
Oh no, you're good.
No, do you want to do something about it?
I was going to go tell I was going to be like, I wonder what that is, and go mention it to someone.
That might be a good idea, actually. All right. Anyone in particular that you want to go ahead and reference this to?
Let's see. First, anyone closest nearby, and second, Nineveh, if she is here.
Okay. So here's the interesting thing, right? So you kind of head back into camp. Go take a look around, and kind of what you've realized is tonight's been really busy. It's been ridiculous. You don't know what's going on with the mist tonight. Like, for example, earlier in the night, there was an unnatural gust of wind that came through the camp earlier in the night. It was filled with snow, and it's not snowing. So some people went to go out and check with that. Actually, the person that you mentioned, she went to go check out that first one. She hasn't come back yet. Later on in the night, you heard some unnatural wolf howling, as if calling out for aid. Some people went out to go check that one. There was also a heavy, mournful toning of a bell. So basically, throughout the night, various things have occurred, and the camp is actually really empty. There's only really you're there. You're where Rhog's there. He's been trying to coordinate the efforts. Tavi is supposed to have been around, but you don't really see Tavi anywhere at the current moment. But the camp is surprisingly pretty empty, unfortunately, because everyone's just been out on investigating things.
Okay, well, I see this light, and at first I'm like, oh, it's a shooting star, that's cool. Then it fades into the mist, and I look into the distance, and I see Rhog. And so I look down on the ground, quickly pick up a rock and a stick, and I run up to Rhog.
All right, you got your rock, you got your stick. Rhog, that's what you see come running up at you. This. Oh, by the way, are you in one of your aspected forms right now?
Yes, I am in my wolf form.
You're gonna go wolf form? Okay, all right. Rhog, that's what you see. See this little wolf girl with a rock and a stick.
Are we putting in the fire again?
Okay, so I hold out the rock and the stick, and I'm like, look at this, and then I look back up at the sky, and I'm like, oh, and there was this light, and it fell over there, like, into the mist. I would have made a wish on it, but I don't know if I want to wish on a star that does that.
Not with tonight's activity, I probably wouldn't suggest it. Are you gonna go scout it out? Because there is no one else.
I can scout it out. I know how to scout things out.
Do you want me to help you this time?
Yeah. That would probably be good.
I know Tavi is in camp. She has had a long day. We've had her on a few different missions, so we're going to allow her to sleep. And the others should be back soon enough. I'll go ahead and leave them a note, and we can go ahead and take off. You knew where it was going. We'll head in that direction. You did get a good eye of where it was going, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Then I will go ahead and follow you, little one.
Right. Oh, here, leave this with the note, and I pull out something shiny from my pocket, or not my pocket, my pouch.
I'll go ahead and wrap it up in the note, seal it with my ram seal. All right, I'm behind you on this one. If something happens, remember to jump behind me.
Soro has his arms are like in a 90-degree angle and like dramatically starting to walk.
Okay. Actually, before you guys leave the camp, is there any particular other than your standard? If you have weapons or armor, that's all standard. Anything in particular that you guys want to take with you from camp? It can be anything that you guys would reasonably have in a camp.
We'll walk off with probably something that was cooking at some point. The fire usually always has something that has been cooking. He'll grab meat and continue to walk off with it with that.
All right. How about you, Soro? Are you taking anything in particular from camp?
No.
No. I love the YOLO spirit. Valid. All right. So the two of you go ahead and take off in the direction, Soro, that you saw that the star fell. It is going to take you in the direction of the mist.
Okay.
All right. So, as you guys go ahead and start walking, you realize that this path is going to start taking you suspiciously close to where the mist is. You are familiar with this area, and this is obviously your home. These forests are where you're from. However, tonight in particular, the mist seems to be encroaching upon the lands that are normally safe a lot more than normal. It's not super dense right now, but there's definitely a haze in the air, and the Fey part of your soul, you can feel it. Like there's a tingle to it that it's like a taste in the air kind of thing. And you guys are going to start wandering through the path. Anything in particular that you'd like to do, like to look for?
Getting closer to the mist, I've gone ahead and pulled sword and shield, just because I've already known that there are things that have been coming through it. Just to be ready. The meat wasn't for me to eat. He's been taking off small chunks and dropping it on the path as he's walking back, because the mist tends to get you turned around. So he's using it as a tracker prior to, and not as actually food.
Look at that. Someone has done something like this before. I approve. All right, okay. Sounds good. Soro, how about you? What's kind of Soro's energy going on right now?
Right. So as we keep going a little closer to the mist, Soro's gonna be a little less dramatic as he's walking, and noticing Rhog pull out his stuff for fighting, Sora's gonna start looking around and actually pay attention to his surroundings. I was going to kind of distance myself a little to the side from where Rhog is to kind of be able to hear things around me and differentiate between what's Rhog and what's everything else.
Nice. Okay, sounds good. One thing I forgot to do during camp, if you, Rhog, if you want to start, give us a description of what Rhog looks like. My bad, I forgot about that.
That's fine. Rhog is about 6'4", 245-pound, full orc. Does have a scar on the right side of his face from a battle. A couple chips out of the ears, a little gnarly, but has full armor, big coffin shield, and he does carry a long sword with him. Walks mostly with a purpose, is not necessarily carefree, and is usually on protection mode almost at all times.
Awesome. All right, Soro, go ahead and likewise hit us with a quick description of what does Soro look like.
Right, Soro is a 5'3" short fae with red hair, short red hair, and depending on, sometimes he has ram horns and other times he has wolf ears and a wolf tail, which he currently has, and he has a pretty basic outfit, just black pants, black top, and carries a dagger and a short sword with him, and is very dramatic in his movements most of the time until he gets serious. But yeah.
We will add in one thing. Rhog does have about a 10 to 12 inch beard all the time.
Nice.
Which doesn't always come into aspect, but it does when he starts to think. It is his only tell, is when he's trying to think, he usually strokes his beard.
Nice, I approve.
Soro has a -1 beard, and that he also strokes when he's thinking.
does he stroke his pretend beard? I approve.
Yes, he does.
That's amazing. All right, so the two of you are in the forest. Are either of you on the path, or are you off the path?
I am on the path.
All right, Soro, how about?
I'm currently on the edge of off the path.
Edge of off the path. All right, perfect. We'll start with Rhog. Rhog, go ahead and roll insight and willpower and see what you get.
Let's see if that works.
Yep, perfect. Yeah, awesome. That does work. Did you just roll a 3?
Yep.
Rhog, you're having a little bit of a struggle. I mean, you're more concerned about making sure nothing jumps Soro right now, rather than trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah, so that's valid. You don't really see much else though right now. You're just more concerned about that. Soro, why don't you go ahead and also throw said insight and willpower?
Okay.
There we go. All right, 10. All right, you rolled awesome on that one. Okay, we're gonna take that roll. Okay, so you can see that the further in that you're going to go, it looks like the mist is going to thin in direction if you walk straight. However, if you kind of veer to the left or to the right off the path, that the mist is going to thicken again. You are aware that this is not normal. Like that there's something kind of suspicious about that. That's not how the mist normally works.
Okay. I get back on the path and I kind of like tiptoe run over to Rhog and point to the middle of the path, or at the middle of the path. Hey, it looks like we're supposed to go this way.
I am following you.
Going. All right, and I continue going.
Okay.
But on the path this time.
All right. That's fair. Okay. So, as you guys walk down the path, you guys will eventually, the mist begins to thin. And you guys will come into a clearing. And for some reason, in the clearing, the mist seems to be pretty much dissipated. You don't see anything in the mist. You can see the sky very clear. You see the moon in the distance, and you see a lake in front of you. And that's pretty much what you guys currently get.
Do we recognize the lake by any chance? Like, if we had come through here when the mist weren't here?
Go ahead and roll recall. That's insight and insight together. So, yeah, let's see if you remember anything about this. 4. As far as you can tell, you have never seen this lake before.
Does it feel fey to us?
You can go ahead and roll... Same thing. Go ahead and roll recall. Or let's see if you can remember how this feels. Oh, 7? 7's pretty good. Yeah. So you actually recognize this feeling. Rhog, you've been out searching. You've been doing this for a little while, going on expeditions yourself. And yeah, like this has the feeling that is very similar to when you start brushing up against maybe that border between the Nox Wild and where the normal world essentially sits. Like you get that feeling that you're brushing up on that border again.
Are we brushing up on it, walking back into it, or away from it?
You are walking into it essentially right now. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and start inspecting if we can feel. I'll look over to Soro. It feels fey. It feels closer to home than what we have been at the camp. I'd still keep our eyes open, but was it continuing through this direction?
Would Soro know that answer?
As far as you can tell, based on your wonderful recall, you walked in a quote straight line in the quote direction that the star fell. I mean that pretty much feels about right to you, I guess.
We were surrounded by trees. It could be over here, but yeah, it came this direction.
All right. Are you still leading, or do I have to take the lead now? Because you seem to be not in front at the moment.
Soro just kind of puts his hands on his hips and is slowly sidestepping.
Very well. I will go ahead and start walking. I do want to get closer to the water. There is a lake or a little pond here.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent sized lake. For example, I would say it's probably about 20 by 20, 20 diameter. It's a pretty decent size. Like you could jump into it and you could swim around, but you can still see the other side, obviously. 20 feet. Yeah.
Go ahead and hug the lake line, and I'll go ahead and start walking around.
All right.
Being close to the water feels a little bit better anyway.
Yeah, okay. Are you looking for anything in particular while you're walking around?
Since we are in a fey area, usually I'm looking for nymphs in the area. If we have any of the water creatures that we look for, anything that looks familiar to us.
Okay.
My mate does have a menagerie of animals that we tend to offer adoption, so we're always in the lookout for another one that may want to be adopted by someone else or that is looking for a new home.
That's fair. All right, that's pretty good. So you're pretty familiar with the various creatures and of the sort. Why don't you throw an inspect with a +2 due to your familiarity with that background? Haha, very nice. And a critical. Very nice. So you're going to get quite a bit of information here. You actually see quite a few things. So first, yeah, you do see the telltale signs of some fairy, the small little fey-like creatures that floating around. You can kind of see them they are aware of your presence. And they've kind of retreated into the little brushes and stuff around the edges, but they're kind of hanging out. They seem like they don't want to go too far away from the water. Like the water's kind of maybe like a safe spot, or like, you know, a place that the water seems safe-ish, essentially, is the kind of the read you get.
Yeah.
The other thing you do pick up, though, with your critical, is there's actually tracks as you're starting to make your way around the water. You pick up on a set of tracks that's leading both to and from the deeper area of the forest. So it came from the deeper of the forest. It went to one of the sides that you haven't quite gotten to yet, and then the tracks go back toward the forest. The tracks going away from the forest do seem a little more hurried, like maybe your presence startled something of some sort.
What kind of size are we looking at?
Humanoid size.
Humanoid. Okay.
Oh.
All right. I'll go ahead and continue on to the path. In most cases, when we see some of the smaller fae, small gestures of the hand down by the hip, almost as a wave, but to the ground, just as a friendly gesture as we continue walking.
Okay. Yeah. You don't have any threatening feeling. Like clearly,
Yeah.
you feel like you're being watched, but no one feels threatening to you of any type.
Sounds good.
All right. Soro, what are you up to while all this goes on?
I really want to climb a tree. Okay.
So literally what you see in the picture is what you're getting currently. There are trees, as you can see, kind of around the edge. There's this fallen over kind of a tree with a big arc. You do see the giant mushrooms also.
Okay.
Those are actually there too.
See the giant mushrooms.
Yeah.
Okay. If we're taking the side of the fallen tree, I want to walk on top of it.
Okay.
And how high off the ground? 5 feet or something.
Yeah, maybe about like I don't know. That's a pretty big tree. I would probably say that tree will get you. Actually, yeah, maybe about 5 or 6 feet at the highest point of it.
Okay.
All right. Anything in particular?
I just do that and look around to see if I spot any light, because I'm really trying to find this light so I don't seem like I made it up.
Okay. All right. Why don't you throw a? Go ahead and throw inspect. Go ahead and add a +1 modifier though, because you know what you're looking for in terms of the type of light. You're struggling. I'm sorry, Soro. You're struggling pretty hard here. It's, you kind of are. You're walking around, and you're kind of twirling about, looking for it. But there's a lot of light in the area, probably due to like the little phase. You can see there's like little light sources, like some luminescent kind of plants, and obviously the moon, and all the stars. And you're struggling a little bit. You're a little struggling.
But I do have an idea of how I could better search for it.
Okay.
In a minute.
All right. Okay. Well, actually, why don't you go ahead? Unless Rhog, there's something in particular that you want to add into this.
Have we made it over to the tracks yet?
Yes. You are standing in front of the tracks. Yes. Like I said, humanoid. There's a pair that go from the forest in towards the lake. And then there is a more hurried pair from the lake back toward the forest.
Are they the same shape, inward and outward?
They look like they were made by the same people. Just as they were leaving, it looks like they were more running out. So like wider strides. The grass. Yeah.
In other words, I before is changeling, shapeshifters, dark fae tend to have that as well. So are they coming in one shape, leaving in another shape? Does it look like there are multiples or is singular?
There's definitely more than one individual. If you want to try throwing an inspect roll, you can see if you can figure out just how many.
All right. And the reason I'm doing this is I've looked over at Soro and I can tell that he's kind of trying to figure something out. So I'm like, while he's doing that, I'm going to take a look at this and give him a chance to try to figure out exactly where we're at.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
All right, so we're inspect, correct?
Yep, inspect. You are hogging all the good rolls. That's what's happening here.
I got a 3 at the beginning. I'll take some good rolls after 3.
All right, so you actually can tell. It looks like there were 3 individuals. They appear to have been wearing maybe some type of well, actually it appears that they were not wearing shoes of any type, so barefooted, but it looks like the tracks were made by most likely three different individuals. All right, Soro, what do you got going on?
Okay, so I'm looking for a sturdy-looking tree
Uh-huh.
that's on the edge of where all the light is and
Uh-huh.
on the edge of where the darkness is. So
Okay.
I want to run up to it, climb, and see if I can get a view from up high.
Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So couple of checks we're gonna have you do first of all. First one, we gotta get you to climb up this tree. This one shouldn't be too hard for you though. We're gonna do it's just a straight dex roll. You know, you're pretty agile, right? Haha, there you go. You easily clamber up that tree. In fact, you crit your way up that tree, and you can pretty much stop anywhere between at any point in the tree, and kind of like you're pretty stable. So you can like make it all the way to the top if you'd like, or like if you want to stop halfway or multiple things, you just let me know. You can pretty much check from anywhere in the tree and look around. You got a good view also. So what are you looking for?
Okay. I'm looking for any if I see any singular light that could give me an idea, but I'm also focusing my attention straight ahead where I would assume it would be. And any like disturbance of like if a big thing hit something. Like do I see like breakage in trees in this direction, and do I see light? That kind of thing. Good
call. Let's go ahead and use. Tell you what, because you did such a good job on your climbing, you use the one that it says captivate, but it's Dex plus willpower. So because you've got a good point of view from your climbing, we'll also use your willpower because you know what you're looking for. You're trying to find something specific. There you go. 10 is a good roll. All right.
Okay.
So you're looking around and you find a couple of things while you're up at the top, and you are correct. You did actually can see the telltale signs of where what appears to have been the falling star kind of impacted its way down, and you actually can kind of tell that big tree that you were kind of climbing on actually seems to have been like part of the resting point of what knocked that thing over. And the other thing that you also pick up while you're out there is you see Rhog, and you can kind of actually see the tracks that he's kind of inspecting. From your top-down view, you actually have a pretty good perspective of those tracks. So you can follow it both from the tree line over to a point off here onto the rightest side, kind of at the base of the tree, but kind of tucked in behind the tree. That's where the tracks go to, and you do see a faint glow coming from that area.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna climb down the tree and then go talk to Rhog.
All right, Rhog. You see this little fox come running up to you. Seems pretty excited.
You have an idea of where we're going?
Yes. Over there. Okay, so I was looking around and I was trying to find. Anyways, there's someone over there.
Yeah.
The thing we're chasing. Yeah, it looks like it's over there, and there's a little light, and there's people around it. So.
Within 3, from what I'm seeing, it's 3 at the moment.
Yeah. So. You want to go check it out?
Good job,
and
little.
Go over there with people.
I would probably be a little bit more careful than what you seem to be excited about, but yes, we will take a look at it. He'll pat him on the head and be like, "Good job," and continue to start walking.
All right.
Soro does both arms like flexing both arms before walking.
Good job, Soro. Good job. All right. So as the two of you make your way around there towards the base end of that tree, you do see some of the very small fairy-like creatures have kind of gathered-ish in that area, and they seem to be kind of looking over what appears to be a body. Rhog, because you were keeping an eye on those tracks also, you do see that the tracks kind of lead in this direction as well. But when you get there, there's only the one individual body that you see lying on the ground. It's a female, black hair, kind of curled up into a bit of a ball, as if not, it doesn't appear to be conscious at the second.
Does it look more like sleeping or more like injured? In other words, can I see injuries on the body, or
yeah, you don't
like
see any. Yeah, no, you don't see any injuries on the body. Yeah, in fact, their clothes seems pretty much intact. Wearing all black with a silver sash. Their clothes kind of has glittery, like kind of golden little flecks into it. Kind of reminds you of the night sky.
What's around the body? Does it look like it's a camp? Does it just look like a crater?
Yep,
What do we kind of?
Little bit of a crater. Little bit like it kind of impacted, and it kind of came to rest here in this spot.
Is there any wood or trunks of tree or anything like that? I might be able to use as as a seat.
Yeah, I mean, you can sit on the base of that, the big knocked over tree over there. It's kind of like actually like right behind that, right out of sight. Yeah, so you could sit on that, that's kind of like the fallen tree over there.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go have a seat, and just keep an eye on the entity in front of me, because I'm not sure what we're dealing with just yet. But it doesn't look like it's hurt, and I don't want to startle it awake just yet.
All right, good. So, Sora, what are you up to over there?
I'm going to look over to Rhog and be like, "I'll be right back," and then I book it back to the lake.
Okay.
Get one of my potion bottles.
Okay.
Fill it up with some of the water.
Okay.
And then book it back.
All right. It doesn't take you very long. Lake's pretty close.
Right.
You have a little potion bottle full of the lake water now. Yeah. And
then I'm going to search around the ground for any flowers.
Okay, yeah. You see some flowers also. Sure, yeah, you see some flowers. As you can see, these little like purplishy kind of like night kind of blooming flowers there. Yep, you get those. Yep.
Okay. So, and then I get that. I tie it into like a little chain, like a flower chain.
Okay.
And I'm going to kind of just chuck it at the sleeping person. And then I will go lean up against a tree nearby. All right.
You're gonna go ahead and so you throw the little flower chain at the sleeping person. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you do that, right? And the chain kind of like flops on their head, and the person seems to stir a little bit. They're a little bit of like kind of groaning, kind of like rubs its head a little bit as it kind of rolls around a little bit, and you see a woman's face kind of look up at the two of you. A couple of distinct things about her. Hair is a blackish blue, kind of like the night sky, and over her eyes are golden, and she has a like kind of like a star pattern over the one eye that you can see. It's kind of like, it's also very kind of like a glittery kind of a look to it. And she seems a little confused because now she's got these flowers in her face. She doesn't seem unhappy by them. The flowers smell really nice, but she's just very surprised at the flowers in her face. Secondarily, she does see the two of you, and you two don't look like you're threatening her at this time, so she's kind of just blinks, but she does look like she's in a bit of a daze.
Are you awake? Or should we give you more time?
She'll nod her head, and kind of in a bit of a groggy voice say, "Yeah, I'm awake." And she'll look around as if she's a bit disoriented.
Sora's gonna like. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
Okay, Sora's gonna crouch down to get closer to her level, and is like, so, how'd you get out here?
She's gonna look around, and she's kind of like squints her eyes, like she's trying to remember. She'll say, "I was with my brother," and she'll look up at the sky, and she'll say, "I think we were trying to go home, and I woke up here." And she'll kind of look around, and she'll kind of like she'll start inspecting herself, kind of just checking to see that all is well and everything is there. As she does that, she'll ask, "What are you two doing here?"
Soro, what are we doing here?
Sora's just gonna squint at her and be like, following a light. What does your brother look like?
That question will kind of startle her a little.
Okay.
And she'll kind of ponder, and she'll chuckle a little, and she'll say, he looks like me. And she'll laugh a little at as if she has a joke that only she is aware of.
Was he with you?
She chuckles a little more, and she'll say, he's always around. Yeah, he's always around. I'm sure he's fine. You don't have to worry about him. And
Sora begins looking around over his shoulder.
and so when she sees you do that, she'll kind of like wave her hand in your direction to draw your attention back to her, and she'll be like, "Never mind him. I'm not sure where I am, but I should introduce myself. My name's Melita, but you can call me Mel." And she'll look at Soro kind of expectantly.
Rhog is taking a little bit more of a defensive stance at this point because there's someone here and I don't know where they are.
You can call me Soro. He sticks out his he after a moment's pause after saying what Mel can call him. He sticks out his hand to shake.
Yeah, Mel will gently grab both of your hands in hers and give you a very dainty shake, and say, she'll say, "Very nice to meet you." She'll look up at the other one sitting on the log, and she'll kind of like tilt her head slightly and say, "Is everything okay?"
I'm not sure yet. We'll see. We're close to the middle, which tends to be an issue.
Like that.
And there's someone out here that I don't know about.
She'll like, "Oh, okay." She'll okay. I hear you. She'll continue to kind of like check herself over until she gets to the choker that she's wearing around her neck. At which point, if you're watching her face will drop very noticeably into concern. And she will start looking around, and she'll ask Soro if you guys found a little golden bell.
Sora looks around on the ground and in his hands. No. No bell.
No? Mel will ask Rhog the same question, inquiring if Rhog has found a golden bell in the area.
No, but we also weren't looking for a bell. We were looking for a light.
So she looks pretty displeased at this news, and she looks a little distraught. She'll say, I was wearing a golden bell on my choker, but it seems to have gotten lost. And she'll try to remember, and she seems to be struggling with remembering. She says, "It was given to me and my brother, and I think it's important. I'm not sure why, but I feel like it's something important that I need to find."
Would your brother have taken the bell?
She'll smile at that question and be like, no. He wouldn't have. You don't need to find my brother. He's fine where he is right now. He'll be back when the sun comes up. That's his time.
What's your brother's name?
My brother's name is Melik. Yeah. He doesn't really like the night. He doesn't really get much say what goes on when the moon is out, but he's much more in charge when the sun is out. So you won't have to worry about him. You probably won't see him during the night. But I do need to find this bell before he comes back. Otherwise he'll be pretty upset at me, and I don't really want him to be upset at me. I don't want to hear his "I told you so" speech. You know what I'm talking about. Brothers.
Soro, did you take a look?
I can take a look around.
Like,
Let's see. Do we have anything that's currently emitting any light? Or do I need to get something?
You didn't choose to bring a lantern of any sort, so I don't assume that you would have it on you.
Okay, I will pull. Well, Rhog, do you happen to have anything that is fire?
Does Rhog normally
light?
carry anything?
No, I can see in the dark just fine.
Oh,
Okay.
dark vision for the
I
win.
I can too. Anyways, I'm going to take out my candle and my fire thingy
Okay.
and quickly light my candle and hold it out in front of me to see. I'm basically using it to try to get light to bounce off of the golden bell.
Okay, that's a good call.
So
good
I'll
call.
see the reflection or the light bouncing off of the bell.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Instead of, yeah, that's my thought process on that.
No. That's good. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and throw an inspect.
And as he's working on that,
Okay.
does Maletta give off any kind of fey to her?
Yes. If you want to go ahead and roll a... Go ahead and throw interrogate, even though that's not technically what you're doing. But go ahead and throw interrogate, and let's see what kind of information you can glean from her.
Rhog is trying to figure out what kind of fey we're dealing with here. Because the answers are vague, and he deals with vague fey every day since he runs dark fey. So he's like, it's a fey, I'm figuring out what kind you are.
Yeah, you know how they be. Right. Alright, Soro, I see you with the 7 there. Alright, well, I'll let Rhog throw this check first before I start giving info. Oh, look at that, Rhog. You know what you're doing. Rhog knows. Alright, Soro, we'll start with you. So a 7 gets you a pretty good amount of info. You look around and you don't see the glint of a bell anywhere. However, in your search for the bell, you do pick up those tracks, remember, that you had saw Rhog looking at earlier? There is signs that the tracks walked up to where Melita was laying down, and then seemed to scurry away from the spot where she was laying down. Almost as though you're not the first ones to have found where Mel was laying. Rhog, so you get a couple of things. Yeah, you look at her. There's a few telltale signs. Night Court Fae is the pretty easy one to be able to tell. And given by the markings and the glowing of her eyes, and then the way she's dressed, and the few passing comments where she's made about how, her brother doesn't like the light and she likes the light, you very much get the sense of a Night Court Fae. And if you kind of put the 2 and 2 together, falling star, random Fae lying on the ground of the night, this is most likely the person that the star that you were looking for.
Okay. I tell if it's a multiple?
As far as you can tell, only one body fell from the sky. This is the only body that, quote, fell.
Perfect. That's what I needed to know.
Yeah.
Soro, do you have anything yet?
Yeah, right here. I didn't find the bell, but there's these tracks, the ones from the lake. They're over here, and then they go off and I get low to the ground and point directly at the tracks. They might have taken it, or know who did. And then I start, like, my imaginary beard.
So at that kind of comment, you see Mel kind of start to fidget, as if she's kind of feeling a bit anxious, and she'll kind of mutter to herself like, I need to get that bell back. Can't let Melik know that I lost the bell again. And she'll turn to the two of you and be like, can either of you help me? It will mean the world to me. I will promise that if you can help me with this, I will definitely owe the two of you one.
As she starts talking, she realizes Rhog's already standing up and started moving in that direction. Before she even finishes her statement, pats Soro on the head and continues to follow the tracks.
All right. You see Mel's kind of like reorientated herself, and she'll kind of like hop to her feet and follow after. And Soro, what are you doing?
First, how tall is Mel?
So Mel is actually, now that she's standing, so Mel stands about 5'10"ish, fairly tall, very light, very lithe kind of a build, long legs, very very thin, and kind of like almost wafy body shape, and very light movements as she walks. Soro, you will see that strapped to Mel, she does have a belt with a few like pouches and knickknacks, but in particular she has a dagger, like a kind of a short dagger, strapped to her back also.
The back of her belt?
Yeah, along the back of her belt. Yep.
Okay.
But yes, Mel seems to be following behind Rhog at a polite distance.
I'm gonna go beside Mel and stand on my toes, kind of jumping, trying to get close to her ear and whisper, respecting personal space, but also like just like trying to be taller while we're walking.
Okay.
And whisper, "What? Get one what?"
Get one what?
In reference to when she was like, "If you help me, something something."
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so Mel will be confused for a second, but then she'll remember what she said and be like, "Oh yeah, if you ever need my help, in the future, I definitely will not forget that the two of you helped me here, and you can ask anything of me. This bell is extremely important. And she'll kind of pause, be like, I don't remember why. I just have this feeling that it's really important. So I really appreciate the two of you helping me. And if you guys need anything that's important to you, I'll be there to help you also."
Soro nods and then like starts picking up his pace.
How loud are these two speaking?
Soro, I assume that your quote quiet is not very quiet at all, right? That's just the vibe that I'm getting.
Yeah, the whisper was more of a technical whisper. Probably normal speaking sound level for most people. And then the rest of the conversation would have, not quiet.
Yeah, Rhog has an understanding of what Soro's...
Soro's quiet is relative quiet. Right. Mel
Rhog
would, yeah.
looks backward, looks back, does one snap, and kind of gives a little bit of a glare and goes right back to walking.
Soro, closes his mouth and is more careful in where he steps, and is actually now paying attention to how much noise his walking is making, but still continues to be slightly dramatic in how he does it.
Makes sense. Mel was previously speaking roughly about the same volume as Soro, just as a sense of reply, but she will pick up as Rhog and Soro make their gestures. You will notice that Mel's footsteps are very light. She is very graceful in the way she moves. All right. So are you guys going to head and follow the footsteps? Is that the gist that I'm getting here?
Yep, now we're tracking.
All right. Let's start with some basics. We'll do a... You can either use might or dex, but you have to use willpower. So one of the physical stats plus willpower to track.
So go ahead and do like an endure.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Oh Jesus, that's a crit also. Very nice. All right, Soro, why don't you go ahead and throw that also?
Which one was the roll?
Any of the physical stats plus willpower.
Okay, we're gonna try this one.
Ooh, look at that. All right, so the two of you actually did amazing. So, Soro, you do a better job at tracking the footsteps. Like you, that's kind of like your wolfy senses kind of kick in now that you're on. You have a thing to track, and you are locked onto those footsteps. You follow them, and they kind of start to duck and dodge, like they're trying to lose tracks, but you're able to pick up on it and follow it. Rhog, on the other hand, your crit gives you some unique information. So, first things first, we're gonna move here into the forest. So, a couple of things that you're able to pick up on is the movements of these creatures. As you get deeper into the forest, they start to have unnatural kind of movements. The gait of the footsteps seems to get unnaturally long for what the size of the foot should be. There's portions where maybe one set of the footsteps disappears, and then they come back for no seeming reason whatsoever. There's definitely some signs of unnatural movement in regards to this. And eventually, you kind of pick up on the sensation that there might be more than 3 people. They're just coming in and out somehow, kind of like fading in and out of the mist. But you get the sense that there might be more than 3 people.
Gotcha.
All right. So you guys have now moved much deeper into the forest. As you can see, it's a lot darker. The tree lines have become much more dense. The moonlight is only shining through in small little streams here and there between the tree canopy. Mel also does not seem to have much difficulty with moving about in the night. She's not tripping over anything. So you can kind of make the assumption that she herself is can see pretty clearly as well. If you guys... Oh, go ahead. Anything you guys want to do or say?
Soro, do you still have your light out?
No.
Okay, good.
I put it away long ago.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
How? So the wool or the woods are pretty dense at this point. Am I having a hard time moving around? Is it that dense, or can I still make through the trail?
You can physically walk through the trail, but if you say wanted to swing your sword in a slashing kind of an arc, you would have to be pretty conscious not to get it caught on a tree.
Okay. Do the other 2 have out their blades already? As I look at the party behind me.
You don't see...
I do not.
Oh, you do not? Okay. You don't see any weapons in Mel's hands either.
Right. So I'll look back to both of them. As I put my back against the tree, the shield goes against the side of the tree, kind of create like a little blockade. And I'll look to the both of them and be like, it's probably time to bring out your weapons just in case. I can't swing in this kind of dirt, in this kind of thickage, but you 2 shouldn't have too much of a problem.
Okay. Sora, what do you do first? We'll go with you first.
I'm gonna take out my short sword and just hold that, and then leave my dagger still tucked, but since it's easier to pull out than my sword. So yeah.
Okay. You will watch Mel. When you say that, Mel will kind of like reach her hand behind her back, and she'll pull out what appears to be like a stiletto, kind of a dagger. And she'll also sidestep like a little bit more into the shadows, and she kind of like doesn't fully like disappear, but she definitely will blend into the shadows a lot more. Almost like the glittering in her eyes is like she'll kind of dim that a bit, so she'll blend in more.
As we're here, I want to take a look at the trees. Do I see any kind of markings of claw scratches? Anything that looks like they may be climbing the trees and then returning back down?
Ah, look at you, look at you. Good job. Go ahead and do an inspect roll. 8? Yeah, okay. It's pretty solid. So you kind of you're onto something here with that. So yeah, like the tree in particular that you're leaning up against, you kind of like feel, and you can see areas of the bark have kind of been scratched away essentially. And if you start, now that you know what you're looking for, if you look at some of the other trees, you can kind of pick up telltale signs of like the bark on the trees having been disturbed at higher levels.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, Rhog is gonna look over to Soro and point upward, and his shield is going, instead of holding it off to the side, he holds it more over the top of his head as almost a guard for anything that archers from high range or anything among that nature.
All right, Soro. Do you do anything with this newfound info?
For now, I'm just going to keep my ears listening to focus on above me or like in the trees instead of completely zoned in on the tracking the footsteps.
Okay. That's good. How about you throw me a
Do I see Soro like start to be more intent on listening?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yeah,
While I notice he's starting to get more intent on listening, are there any rocks on the ground? Anything not small, but a good decent size?
yeah, you do see some rocks on the ground, yes.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pick one up. As I notice that he's starting to pay attention more to the sound, I want to chunk a rock into the tree and see if I can get that bell to make any noise if I hear them starting to scurry away or if they're going to try to maneuver from it.
Okay. So first, Soro, go ahead and make a willpower and insight. 5? Okay,
Oh,
you're
man.
having a little struggle with the listening. It's kind of like there's like the foresty noises. There's a decent amount of forest noises, but not enough for you to like pick out anything in particular. Rhog, however, go ahead and hit a good old might plus might check, and effort is what we're looking for.
Yep.
Huck that rock. Let's see what you get. Nice. So you huck that rock up into the trees, and you get it up there pretty deep. As you do, you don't hear the bell, but you do hear the sounds of a single creature-like thing suddenly start dashing through the trees away from you, almost like something got caught. They kind of gave themselves where you hear the noise of someone scurrying away in the upper heights of the trees.
All right, I'll go ahead and start bounding in that direction.
All right, everyone kind of hears that, so everyone will go ahead and make so you have an option. If you just want to physically barrel ahead, you can go might plus might. If you want to be very acrobatic about it, you can go dex plus dex. And if you want to kind of do it in the middle, you can do dex plus might. Any combination of the physical attributes. We'll see how well people are able to chase.
Yep, I'm just barreling through.
Rhog is barreling. All right, Soro, how are you doing it?
Which one would be like just speed with dodging things?
That if you're just going with raw agility and speed, that's dex plus dex.
Okay.
7. All right. And Mel will also make a roll for this one. Mel does better. Not as good as Rhog though. Rhog is like, Rog's a pro at this. Rhog does not let anything stop them. Mel does pretty good at keeping up. She is just physically not as fast as Rhog, but she is doing her best. Soro, you're doing fine. You're not tripping or anything like that, but you are not as good at dodging through the trees as you're trying to chase through. If you would like, you could use your wolf aspect.
Running?
You can stop
never
running.
mind.
No,
Never
you
mind.
can.
Let me...
Well,
I was gonna stop running because Sora would be very upset that he's doing a poor job at running.
Tell you what, Sora, if you'd like to go ahead, make a willpower plus willpower roll. Let's see whether Sorrel's nature or Sorrel's awareness of what Sorrel should be doing kicks in. Okay. So you want to stop. You want to pout. But you also know you probably should not stop by yourself in the forest while 2 other individuals kind of barrel on ahead. And you did roll pretty good on your willpower. You kind of double down on your efforts, and you push forward, and you're able to keep up. All right. Actually, so Soro, since you're at the back currently, and you were listening, how about you throw one more? Do an inspect roll, insight and insight. I know this is not your favorite stat, but go ahead and roll insight. Yeah, nice. 8 is good. All right. Okay. So, as you're running, you kind of start using your senses to try and pick up what's going on, and you kind of pick up the sound of chanting. Only you hear this, but it's very faint. But you hear the sound of chanting on the wind, and then you hear a single chime of a bell.
Okay. Can I tell where this is coming from?
Yes. It is the creature that you guys are chasing is not headed in the correct direction. It's kind of like, almost like it's leading you away from the direction you were previously walking towards. Like, and now that you've thought about that, you're actually not following the footsteps anymore. This creature now seems to be leading you away.
I'm gonna stop in my tracks and try. I'm just gonna turn around and run in the direction of where I hear the noise.
Are you gonna yell out to any of the other 2 people?
No, I'm not gonna yell, but I'm going. Before this, I'm gonna make a mental note of exactly which direction they're currently running, so that I can reference it later in the future.
Okay, Rhog, make a insight plus willpower check to see if you notice Sorrel moving in a different direction. Let's see if Mel will also do this. Oops. And okay. So you will go ahead and you start moving in the direction of the chanting. It does take a few moments for Mel to notice that you're not running behind her anymore. And it takes a few more moments, and Mel will say something to Rhog that Soro is not following. But by this point, Soro has had, about a few good steps ahead to move away. So Mel is not entirely sure where Soro has run off to. But she does tell that to Rhog.
Exact words. So how do you tell me?
So Mel.
That's gonna dictate what my guys, what
Gotcha.
I'm about to do.
Mel says Soro's not following us anymore. I don't know where she went.
Takes his blade, sticks it in the ground to come to an abrupt halt. As he turns to run the other direction, he scoops up Mel and almost like, okay, we're going this way now. And it's a barrel back the other direction.
All right. Rhog, you and Mel will both be making... We'll make... Inspect. We're trying to see if we can pick up where Soro has gone. Alright. Luckily for you, Mel is good at seeing things in the dark also. Mel does pick up the moment where Soro has veered off. Soro's tracks are pretty easy to follow because Soro was not quite as dainty. But you can tell that Soro's got a good jump start on you in the direction that Soro has gone.
It's a double book.
All right. We're gonna go to Soro real quick. Soro, you've got a good head start on everyone else. You've kind of left them behind, but you are now following in the direction of the chanting that you heard and the bell chime. And after a few moments, you hear the bell chime again. This time it is louder, and the sounds of the chanting are slowly getting louder. Go ahead and make a willpower plus insight check for me. Six.
Okay.
Okay, you're not super observant. Okay, so you kind of barrel on ahead. You're doing fine. You're barreling on ahead. You can see up ahead that there is a clearing, and there is more light coming from the clearing. You're about 5-ish steps, five-ish big long strides from the clearing when it finally hits you that the area that you're running into, as you've kept running into it, all of the color that's been around you has been drained, and now you're in a world of black and white.
Not again. Okay.
What do you do here?
Is there anything else that's drained or seems off other than just the color?
Other than just the color? The color is gone. You can see the shadowy outline of some figures in front of you. This is kind of like in the moment. You are still running full blast in this direction. So what do you do?
The figures are the figures facing towards me, or are they like in more of a circle, so some are and some aren't?
Yeah, so they are in a circle, but it is difficult to see where they're facing. As you can see on the picture, that's basically what you see.
Just a dark blob?
Yeah,
Okay.
you see the outlines of
going-
people. Yeah.
A tree near me.
You're going for a tree. Okay.
I would like to grab onto a tree to help me stop.
All right. Go ahead.
Not run directly into it, but more like hand onto it, spins me in the other direction, so I slow down.
Got it. That's a dex check. Go ahead and dex plus dex. All right, you did good. You saved yourself. Not only did you manage to grab the tree and redirect yourself, but you were also pretty stealthy about it too. It does not seem like any of the figures are onto your presence yet. So you hear the chanting, and what you see in front of you is a group of figures, all shadowy and black, in kind of a circle. It appears that there is something in the center of them doing a thing of some sort.
And I can't tell what the middle is.
Not from.
Or
Tell you what.
Is it just another blob?
Go ahead and look. To throw a what do we throw in here? Insight willpower. Insight willpower. Go ahead and let's see what you can see and what you know about what's going on. You can't tell what's going on in the middle of them. No. There's something. There's something. They're definitely doing something suspicious, and your face senses are telling you that that's pretty jank. Whatever it is they're doing, it's full of jank and not good. You can tell that much, as can be probably also told by the world being black and white all of a sudden. That's also another telltale sign of things are not doing good.
Can I tell where the bell sounded? If it was from the person in the center?
You cannot tell. No, you can't tell where the bell sound is coming from. Yeah. Why is my thing on?
If I wait, so I'm gonna wait to try to see if I hear the bell again to then figure out where that is.
Okay. In the time that you're waiting, Rhog, you go ahead and throw a insight willpower check as you are barreling through the woods. 8 is pretty good. Okay, so you actually catch on a little bit earlier. You see the color around you draining, and you're now able to hear the sounds of chanting in front of you. You do not hear the bell yet, no. But you do hear the chanting. You do see the world starting to fade of color. You don't see Soro yet.
Continue moving.
Okay.
If Mel makes any kind of movement like she's trying to get out of my grip, I'm going to just let her go.
Okay, let's see. Insight plus willpower. Let's see what if Mel catches anything. Mel does, but rather than that, Mel will let you know that she heard the bell and that there are people up ahead. She hears the chanting also. So she will alert you of both the bell and that there's some people up ahead.
Okay.
All right.
At that statement, I do drop her.
Okay. All right. She will kind of like crouch down when she lands, and
she's been nimble. I figure she's gonna be able to stand up. Or I'm not throwing her into a tree or anything.
Right. She will kind of like slide to a stop next to all of you, or next to the tree essentially, and you guys are able to stop about a pretty good amount of paces away. So definitely, like you can see the clearing, you can see the figure, the shadowy shapes that are standing there.
Stop right there. Rhog doesn't stop.
Oh, Rhog doesn't stop. Okay. Rhog does not stop. Soro, you are now able to see Rhog, because as you can see, Rhog does not stop. Rhog is all go all the time. What do you do?
So Rhog's in the center now?
No, Rhog is not in the center yet, but you see, coming from the direction that you came from, you see the signs of Rhog. Rhog is very imposing, Rhog is very large, and Rhog is going full blast in your path, in the direction of the circle.
Okay, I'm going to crouch down beside the tree to make sure that I'm out of the way and he won't trip over me.
You are, yes.
But 2, I'm going to get my stance ready to sprint.
In which direction?
Ahead, in the same direction.
In the same direction.
I'm not doing it yet. I'm just getting my stance ready, low to the ground, but ready to sprint.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, Rhog, as you get closer to the circle, you start to see a few things. For example, there is one that is obviously the leader-esque like person. It is the one here with the long pointy thing coming out of their hand. You can tell that that's a sword. You can also see, as you get closer, in the center, there appears to be they're enacting some type of a ritual. That much is obvious. And what you actually see is some type of a portal in the ground. This is the only source of color in this area. It's this little circle here on the bottom right that says 3 out of 6. So there's this little portal that appears to be trying to be opened right now. It does not look like it's fully opened yet. It is partially open. What would you like to do with this newfound knowledge?
So let's go ahead and use Fabula Point. There is a tree trunk kind of arched a little bit on the ground as well, kind of surrounding the outside of them. I'm going to use that as a catapult to go ahead and launch myself into the main guy.
Straight to the main guy? All right. Valid. So you are full blast running. You see that tree trunk, and you're just like, this guy. That is the leader.
It is going to be shield first. I'm trying to knock him pretty much out of the chant and whatever is going on, because the bell's supposed to be around here. And that's his initial deal, is to stop whatever this chant's going on and try to figure out where the bell is.
All right, fair. Soro, you see Rhog, see the tree, launch himself off the tree, and he just goes sailing through the air. At what point would you like to take action?
Okay, I'd like to sprint after he collides with the main guy.
So on collision, that's your cue to act. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, Rhog, this is 100% a surprise attack. They do not see you coming, and definitely this guy does not expect any giant orc to be flying at him. So we're gonna switch over to, I believe, equipment is what we're looking for, and you can go ahead and take that swing on the priest, his shade priest.
All right.
Go ahead and take that accuracy swing. That is an 12 hits. The 7. What's the plus damage on the weapon? I forget already.
8. So it's that bottom damage is 7 plus 8.
Yes.
Because
So
the highest is the 7. It automatically does it. That's so nice.
yeah, nice. So you hit for 15. You collide into this priest, and you just barrel him over. The chanting immediately stops, obviously, when this happens. So he takes a massive 15. You're down to 25 already. Jesus. All right, and you barrel him over. You're back on your feet. He's on the ground from the surprise of this attack. And we are going to now go into initiative. So the way initiative in this game works is it's a group initiative. One person in the group gets to roll initiative, and everyone else gets to assist on the initiative. Usually you just roll whoever has the best initiative. Soro, I think you have the best initiative, because you should only have -1 because you're just wearing traveling clothes. Rhog, I know you have a lower initiative because you have heavier armor. So,
Yep.
Soro, you roll the initiative first, and this is going to be the initiative for our side, the hero side, essentially.
Okay.
All right, 6. Now, the other players can assist. Our target number is 10. So, Rhog, if you want to throw initiative, Mel will also throw initiative. And every time you or I get over 10, we will go ahead and contribute +1 to Soro's party initiative.
All right.
Oh, nope, we don't get anything. All right, cool. Over here on the priest side, the priest will roll for the shades. Ooh, the shades do succeed. So the shades will go first. It's alternating activation, so one person from the shade side will go, one person from our side will go, and it'll alternate back and forth. When it comes to our side, anybody can activate. So the group will decide who is going to activate next. So it's like a party kind of dynamic in that regard. But first, the Shade Priest will go. And what he will do is he's going to spend his action to stand up, and he's going to actually order the rest of his group to continue the ritual. He will then point to the 2 other shades that are nearest to him, and they will come and essentially ready themselves and equip themselves. So there's 3 people that are now in this fight, and that is his action, is what he does. So over onto our side, any of the 3 of us can go. So the group will decide who strategically is the most ideal to go next. So really, it's between you and Rhog, because you don't know where Mel is. Mel is somewhere else right now.
Okay.
Now, have eyes on Soro at all?
Yes.
I don't think I looked.
Now that you have stood up and you've kind of like barreled through the party, you can kind of see back into the forest the direction you came. You do see Soro at the edge of the tree line.
Does it look like he is running?
He looks like he is crouched, ready to pounce into the fight.
Okay, I'm gonna wait and hold to see what he does.
All right, Soro, you are up first in that case. So mechanically, I'll kind of explain what's going to happen in this fight. So essentially, there's a portal that's trying to be opened. And there's a couple of outcomes that can happen in this thing. So as you can see on the portal, it currently says 3 out of 6, representing that the portal is halfway open. Should the portal ever reach 6 out of 6, the portal opens completely and whatever happens, happens. However, if the portal ever reaches 0 out of 6, that represents the portal being shut. And then the portal cannot be opened anymore. And then whatever happens, happens. What you guys see is there are 3 people who are ready to fight, but there are also 3 shades still surrounding the portal doing the chanting thing. They're clearly not fighting. Their task is to complete this ritual. They are the 3 people who are chanting in the ritual, I'll let you know, are valid targets to be attacked.
Understood.
All right, Soro, what would you like to do?
Okay, and so I still can't. How many for one turn? Is there? How does that work? Is there like?
Yeah, so
like an action I can take plus a like.
yeah, so the way that combat works in this game is it's all rule of cool, right? So what about like 3-ish seconds, enough to make a singular attack. You can move and attack. You can do some dramatic things in attack. You can, if you can speak during this time period, you can say anything you want that fits within that 3-second kind of period. You can do this all at the same time. It's more of a narrative type thing. The cooler the thing that you describe also, like you might get more bonuses as well.
Yeah. So, I am going to bolt straight ahead, which I assume is directly at the 2 shades. Are the shades surrounding the leader guy?
Yes, so there's one flanking each side of them, and you see that the shades have these shadowy looking daggers. Like there's kind of like they almost look not solid. Like they're kind of wispy.
So I'm going to bolt and run to the one on the left side.
Is that shade number 1 or number 2? They're the same health right now, but it will become more relevant, obviously, once some of them start getting hurt.
I'll just say it's the one on the left side is shade number 1.
Shade number 1. All right, sounds good. So you're gonna attack shade number 1. All right, so you're charging at shade 1.
Yes, but the way I'm doing it, I'm not charging directly into its face. It's more of a run, let's see how to describe it. Running up to it, but to the side, so I can, so that I'll end behind it.
Okay, so you're trying to cross over to the side closer to Rhog, essentially, because Rhog is right now. The shades are between you and Rhog. Rhog's on one side, you're on the other. Shades are kind of in the middle right now, so you're trying to cross over to the Rhog side, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Actually, what I can do to kind of help out is we'll kind of like move these into like a pseudo representation. So Rhog has like come through here. Soro, you're kind of like down here, and Tavia is back at camp, and Mel is somewhere else. So you don't quite see Mel. She's kind of like hidden. So you're kind of like looking to come through and end up like this, like on this side, and stabbing at shade number 1. Sounds good. Sounds good. Go ahead and on your equipment, make with the accuracy on the stabbing with your sword. That is a 3. A 3 does not hit. So you swing through, and it glances off. So they are wearing some kind of an armor on them. Your blow glances off of their armor. All right. The shade that you attacked will swing back at you. He's gonna try and jab at you with his knife. He was not appreciative of your ambush. He does stab at you.
Oop, so you were there a little quick on that roll because I was going to protect.
Oh, you're going to activate Protect? You can interrupt at any time, even after I throw an attack. So Protect is a reaction ability.
Done before your roll or what have you from that point. So.
Nope, Protect is super good ability. You can trigger it in response. It's a fantastic ability. So, alright. So the Shade is going to stab at Soro. And Rhog, it sounds like you want to jump in front and take the hit instead.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. What is your defense, actually? Because your defense is different.
Yeah. Let's see here. Where's my defense on this thing? 14.
14. So actually, what would have hit Soro actually hits into your shield. They need to exceed to succeed. So he stabs into the shield, and you defend Soro. Soro, you just saw your life flash before your eyes as this shadowy blade came at you, and suddenly this shield comes towering down in front of you, and it blocks the blow for you. You hear it thunk into the shield right in front of your face. Good move, good move. Rhog, it is your go now.
All right. Since he's kind of moved in between
yeah, so you
Soro and the other two.
You'd be here about now.
Yeah. So at this point, he's going to... He crouches down, and it looks like he's going to draw his blade, but instead of drawing the blade, grabs a second strap on the top of his shield, and he swings the shield over the top of him for a bone crusher.
Nice,
and he is trying to weaken both of these two that are right in front of him.
Sounds good. Go ahead and throw that dice.
Now, how do we want to throw this one? Because it's not the long sword. This is more like a shield bash on the bone crusher. I don't know how you want to roll that one instead, or do you want me to just roll the long sword like normal?
No. So you roll the long sword like normal, but Bone Crusher will replace the damage effect, because your attack will still be the same. He has a defense of 8, so that's going to hit the Shade, and the Shade Priest has a defense of 10. All right. So the Shade Priest sees it coming. Like he's able to sway out of the way of this, but the Shade itself, he doesn't see this coming at all. Like he was so stunned that you suddenly appeared, and you are going to. What is the effect that it causes on that?
So on that one, it causes. We're gonna do the weak effect. So his might dice is reduced by 1 size, and target loses 10 MP.
And he's gonna lose 10 MP. All right. That is big for them. And his might is down to a D6 size dice, so he is pretty weakened.
And can we do this almost at the same action as the block? So as he comes into block, it's the shield as well. So he strikes him with the shield as he's blocking.
Yes, you can do that. Actually, tell you what I'll do is Soro, if you'd like, if I remember correctly, you did have a bond with Rhog, correct? You did opt for a bond with Rhog?
Yeah.
What is the bond that you picked?
Chose loyalty, admiration.
All right. What I'll let you do in this instance, if you'd like, you can spend that Fabula point, and because of your admiration, again for Rhog, saving your neck and just being the greatest, like looking out for the people in his guild, I will let you spend the Fabula point to add +2 because you have a rank 2 bond with Rhog to Rhog's attack, making his attack go up to an 11 if you'd like to spend the Fabula point. Essentially, you will be cheering Rhog on, and like your heartfelt words will encourage Rhog to land this blow on the Shade Priest.
Okay, yes.
All right. So Rhog, Soro, like, yep. Tell Rhog what you would say. Like, you have to encourage Rhog. You have to. What do you say to Rhog to encourage him, or to thank him for saving your life yet again?
Damn, you did a good job building that shield. That's what Soro's gonna say.
All right, Rhog, you hear Soro in Soro's awkward way, but you know the feelings. You understand the bond that you and Soro have, and we will say that yes, the strength of your bond, because Soro has a rank 2 bond with you, we'll add 2 to that attack, making it so you do hit the Shade Priest. So the Shade Priest will also lose 10 MP, and also get a weakened state. So he is down to a d6 on his might dice as well. So both of them have now, and your blow lands on both the Shade Priest and the Shade. And we will go with Shade number 2. He sees this, and he's gonna come around here, trying to flank you, Rhog. He's gonna try and also stab at you with that shadowy knife of his. And he's got a 10. That is not enough. You're wearing way too much armor, Rhog. And you feel a shadowy knife kind of bounce off your armor. Your armor holding firm.
Ready?
All right. So what you see at this point is Mel will slip out of the shadows, and she is going to backstab the unholy shit out of this Shade over here that is trying to backstab you. Now, Mel did not appreciate that, so she has a backstab ability. She has that dagger, and she will gain additional accuracy because it is a backstab effect. 11 does land, and 7 is the high dice, plus her dagger of 4 is 11. So she slips out of the shadows from behind Shade number 2, and she's gonna stab him in his back. She likes this. That's how she rolls. 29. He takes a stab. All right. So what happens here is at the end of this round, the chanting has continued on the other 3, and the portal starts to become more solid. So you guys get the sense that the portal is starting to form itself a little bit more. All right. We'll go back to the top of the round. The Shade Priest is gonna go yet again. He is going to... he did not like getting stabbed by you, Rhog. He is not having that. He's actually going to back up quite a bit. And he is going to encourage the other 3 members still performing the ritual. And he's going to kind of join in on them with the chanting. Alright. Rhog, it is your go. What would you like to do?
So I see him back up.
Yes.
And is he like near the other 3 as well?
Yes, he has backed up, and he's kind of now standing by the other 3 people performing the ritual.
Alright. So Rog's going to go ahead and turn his shield sideways and start barreling through them to knock them all, trying to knock them down. I'm trying to get them to stop chanting. So just kind of barrel through them and try to run to the other side of these guys.
All right, so you're going to do like a charge attack straight through everybody, just kind of barrel through everyone that's in your way.
Yep.
All right, sounds good. So for this one, we're just going to go might plus might. Like, you're just brute forcing it. Oh, so you will collide, and I'm assuming you're trying to collide with just as many people as you can.
Yep, maximizing as much chaos as possible.
All right, so these two that are fighting, you kind of shove them out of the way. They got a big old shove, but the three that are chanting, they don't really see it coming because they're busy focusing on the chant, and you just plow into the first one. He is taking a blindside shoulder charge straight into you. Go ahead and actually, what's the 2 dice that you rolled? Might plus might. You rolled a 4 and a 7. So you're gonna deal 7 points of damage to that first one. And these shades are apparently a lot weaker because as soon as you collide, you kind of like poof straight through him, and he kind of dissipates into smoke. The other two, they kind of like see you coming, and then the shade priest obviously like. Once you power through the first one, they all see it coming, but they get knocked over. So the chanting does stop, but you destroy one of the shades completely. He seems like different than the other ones that you guys are actually doing the fighting. And you actually see the portal dissipate a little bit. It's kind of back to where it was originally. So you've kind of like come and plowed through here like that. Rah. Alright. So then. Shade number 1. Shade number 1's gonna go after you, Soro. He's determined.
Okay.
Rhog has run off, but he's pretty messed up. Like for example, he's dazed. Well, not dazed. He is definitely weakened. So shade number 1, he is weakened, and he is going to try once again to stab at you. And he throws a 7. What's your armor? Or what's your defense, Sorrel?
11.
11? Nice.
Yes.
So yeah, your defense is good. You're able to dodge out of the way. You defend yourself from the shade stabbing. And it is your go.
During the couple seconds that we've been fighting, have I heard any of maybe the bell ringing when charged them and knocked them over?
Yes, so what you heard is the bell is it basically when the portal became more solid, you heard the bell chime. Yes. So you can tell that the bell is in the center of that ritual. They're essentially using the bell as the focus to open this portal.
Okay. So I'm going to just try to stab at the shade in front of me.
All right, you stab in the shade in front of you. Go for it. Nice. 10 is good. Then you roll 6 plus. What is the bonus damage of the weapon?
Is it the damage HR plus, and then it says 6?
Yeah. So it's so it's plus 6.
Yes.
Nice. So you hit this shade for 12 points of damage. So that will take it down to 28. You got a solid stab in there. It's
Okay.
pretty wounded. It's not critically wounded yet, but it is definitely unhappy that you have just stabbed him. All right. Shade number 2. He's gonna stab at Mel. He did not appreciate getting stabbed in the back either. 13 will actually wound Mel. That's gonna hurt. And it's going to deal 10 points of damage to Mel. So you guys both will hear Mel kind of cry out a little bit, and you see the shadowy knife stab into Mel. Mel is down to 25 hit points also. Mel needs more hit points. Mel could use a few more hit points. All right. Mel is going to... Mel does not like fighting one-on-one. Mel is not a believer in that type of fighting. Mel's actually going to kind of slide over this way and try and gang up on this shade. Mel is all about that numbers game. And so we're gonna stab. Oh yes. Mel stabs the bejesus out of this shade when it's distracted by Sorrel. Mel appreciates you, Sorrel, for distracting this thing. Plus
Can I
4.
say I made a funny face at the shade?
You did. You did. You taunted the
Yes.
shade when you stabbed it, and it allowed Mel to sneak up behind it and hit it for 14 points of damage. Nice. Soro, in this instant also, with the shade being this wounded, your wolf senses are kind of going off. You can tell that this creature is below half of its wounds, and that wolf instinct, that kill instinct, is kicking in. You can feel it. You can feel it in your soul that you want to defeat the shade.
Okay.
All right. So at the end of this round, the chanting is obviously stopped at this point, and you don't see the portal kind of form itself anymore. The portal is kind of staying as is. It hasn't gotten worse, but it hasn't gotten better yet. Rhog, this priest is so over you. He is done. You've attacked his guys. You've now ruined his ritual. He is sick of you. He is gonna stab at you with this shadowy blade that he's got. He's got a 6. That is pathetic. His spindly undead arms are not even doing it for you. What do you got to say back to that? It's your go, Rhog.
Okay, so he takes a swing. Is there somebody behind him? Like, are the other shades still on the ground? Or
yeah, they're still knocked down on the ground. They're fine. They didn't get destroyed or anything, but they're on the ground, still beside him.
Okay, so Rog's gonna go ahead and grin at him, a big tusky grin. Cocks his head to the side and runs at him. He's not his target though. He is running to kill one of the guys that's on the ground.
Oh, you're gonna stomp the dudes on the ground? I hear you.
Yep.
I hear you. All right, might plus might. You're just gonna brute force this again. Rhog is a mood.
16 crit.
With that's a crit. All right, Rhog, you're feeling yourself now. Your power is great. You pick a path that not only gets one, but you're gonna get them both. You're gonna stomp both of them for 8 points of damage, and you're gonna smash both of the shades that are on the ground.
As they poof and dissipate around me, Rog's gonna turn back around and look at the high priest with a big grin and crouch down like he's about to start charging again.
Oh, all right. All right. Tell you what, I'm gonna give you a bonus on that because you got the crit also. Roll me. Let's see. What's like an intimidate or a taunting kind of effect? What do we got here? Intimidate. There is an intimidate. Go ahead and roll me an intimidate check. Let's see how what if you get in his head. You do. This priest is not having it. This priest is his portal is Soro. You also see this. This portal is starting to flicker and waver with each shade that gets destroyed. The portal becomes weaker. This priest is pretty intimidated. He's also going to take what is the status effect that we got here? His stats. He's going to get the enraged status, which means his insight and his dexterity have now been reduced by 1 dice. He's pretty furious. His mind's not there. He's completely lost all rational thought. All right.
Loving it.
This shade is sick of both Mel and Soro at this point. The shade is going to try to stab at Soro. He didn't appreciate that you taunted him, letting him get stabbed once again.
Soro does have a smile on his face right now.
Soro is smug. Does a 9 hit you, Soro?
No.
Okay. Your shit-eating grin is even greater now, as the shade has failed to stab at you yet again with its little shadowy knife. How would you like to respond? It is your go.
I'm gonna step forward and whack him.
You know, whack
with
him.
My sword.
All right, go for it.
10.
10 does hit. 8 damage
Okay.
plus your weapon, which is 6, correct?
6.
Yep.
Yes.
But he is also in critical status, so I believe your wolf ability grants you bonus damage against critical enemies, right? It will be under the classes. Go to classes.
Okay.
So in wolf form, there's a secondary ability that the wolf form allows. What does it say?
Deal +5 damage.
+5, so that is +9, 17 damage to shade number 1 total. And you basically poof him out of existence. And he will fall and crumble to the ground in a pile of shadowy dust. His knife does go with him. You don't get to loot the knife, but he just dissipates into shadows. Mel, actually, when you kill that shade, the portal will actually go ahead and dissipate completely. So you do stop the ritual by killing the sufficient number of shades before they have actions. Mel is going to come over here and stab at this shade. Just for completion's sake. She does not like things that stab her. Uh, 10 does get a stab off for another 8 points of damage on shade number 2. So he's down to 21. Alright. And shade number 2 will likewise be displeased at stabbing. 8 actually, Mel's able to defend that 8. She's not that weak. So Mel is able to dodge out of the way from that one. Alright. Alright, we will be back at the top here. This priest is enraged. He is so salty. He is so angered. You have ruined, and he speaks to you, Rhog. He tells you that, how dare you ruin his ritual? That he has ruined. You have ruined everything this night. That it was his task to bring his people through the portal, and now because of you, if he is going to fail, you are going to go down with him. He is going to stab at you hatefully. I do not think 11 hits you, does it?
No.
God, I did not realize you had this much armor. So there you go. That's what happens. He stabs at you, glancing off of your armor ineffectively. Rhog, what do you got going on?
Alright, so since he's stabbing at me and I was already kind of in a crouching position, Rhog is going to go ahead and go for a shoulder check and then a swing of the sword to try to create a little bit of distance. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that.
All right. Go for it. Go ahead and throw that. 13 does hit him. Physical 8. How much?
16.
Oh, this priest is not doing well. He's down to 9. Soro
hits him with that shoulder check and then
he's like,
the swing of the blade. Rhog looks at him and goes, I will raise everything that comes through my forest.
Soro, you hear this. You hear Rhog talking down to this shade priest, but also your wolf senses again trigger. You are aware that this priest is below half health, and your kill instincts kick in once more. With shade number 1 gone, Soro, it would be your action.
I am going to... Okay. I'm going to run up to Fade and attack him. But also, can I do it and I'm not directly against him? It's more of the by and hit kind of thing.
Yeah. You want to do like a hit and run kind of an attack? Yeah. So basically, you can kind of leap past him and kind of try and stab through him as you're running by. Yeah, go for it. Oh, is that your roll there? 13? 13 is good, so it's 8 damage. Okay. Once again, plus your knife, plus your kill instinct. So I think that does another 17, which is well exceeds this shade priest here. This priest is dust. You pretty much run right through him, and he dissipates into shadows as you just tear right through him, and you run through on the side. Once that shade priest dies, The second shade that's stabbing with Mel over here, it kind of fades off into shadows also, and suddenly the forest is quiet once again. So there we go, and the party has defeated the shades. Color returns to the forest, and it's quiet. It's quiet. You see Mel go over to the ritual area, and she'll pick up the golden bell, and she'll kind of cradle it to her chest, clearly extremely relieved to have retrieved the bell itself. Rhog and Soro, it looks like you are completely unscathed. You do see that Mel does have a stab wound, but she's overall not in any kind of critical injury or anything like that. With some time, she'll be able to heal.
Puts up his stuff and walks over to Mel to go ahead and check on her, see how bad the wound is. Even though it doesn't look bad, Rhog looks at her and says, even one wound is a failure, regardless if we win or not.
Mel is very grateful. Her expression is clearly one of immense relief and immense comfort. Mel will give you a giant hug in thanks. Mel is a big hugger, and she will give you a hug in thanks for your efforts on her behalf. And you do hear her reiterate her promise that should you ever have a need, that she does owe you one, and that favor can be called in at any time. She will be there. She will also remind Soro of that as well. She does appreciate that. Back to camp. We
found the light, and we've taken care of this. At this point, I've got to go back and check on the guild.
Fair enough. As you all return to camp, the mist has cleared up quite a bit following the whole issue, and you don't really have much of a trouble getting back to camp. Upon return to camp, you see many friendly faces. You see, it looks like this night everyone has came back safely, and there's a few other people newly found from the mist as well. It seems that lately the mist has been depositing new arrivals to the land of Hynafol, and the ones that were friendly and potential allies are here in the camp. You see friendly faces eagerly waiting to introduce you to many new people. And at this point, the sun starts to crack over the horizon. And for those of you who are walking back with Mel, you do see something interesting. You do see that Mel slowly starts to shift as the sun begins to rise. Mel's hair becomes shorter, but overall, Mel's general features remain the same, including the golden eyes and the markings around their eyes. And Mel takes on a slightly more masculine form, to which the individual kind of chuckles, and he'll make a somewhat passing comment that he's glad that you were able to assist his sister in retrieving the bell. It does mean a lot to them, and so he thanks you profusely, and that he is aware of the promise that his sister made, and he too will honor it should you need assistance during the light of day. He will introduce himself as Melik, but you can also call him Mel.
Rhog walks up and pats him on the head. It's good to see that we found both of you.
He's like, he chuckles as he's like, as he remembers your earlier concern, and he'll make comment that his sister means well.
No need to worry. Dark Fae, we all have our secrets.
He'll also turn and address Soro, also thanking Soro for his efforts in helping retrieve the bell, and also acknowledge Soro's ability in combat. I believe Soro did get 2 kills on that. That's why. 2 actual solid NPC kills. Indeed. With that, the game, we're gonna end the game here. Everyone is safely back at camp, and I do appreciate the two of you joining in and playing through the game today. I hope you guys had a good time. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you for hosting it. I
Yeah.
haven't played a game in a long time, so it was fun to be on the other side of the screen.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it was fun also getting to know Rhog and Soro. I will definitely look forward to getting to actually meet real life Rhog and Soro come November. But for sure, I will be running more games, and of course, hopefully getting more people in there. But I'll let you guys also know as more of these games kind of come up.
Yeah, definitely let me know. And what's really nice is we both have been playing pretty close to our characters already. So, when you do make it on over to Grand Gathering, you'll be able to connect us, and they should be very, very similar to what you're facing here. So,
yeah, no, for sure.
Really
So, yeah.
I will say, I run better in real life. I'm way better at running. My excuse is that Soro had a rock in his shoe or something. Something went terribly wrong.
Well, I just saw what I saw. You know what I mean? Like I saw what I saw. That's what it be.